being a loud one today. Alexa, cancel. Alexa, play.
You probably think that you are better now.
Hey guys, it's Savannah. Today, well, Sydney's supposed to be coming over here and we're going to be doing a video of some sorts, but since she's not here at this moment and I have to get ready, we can do a get ready with Savvy Cat. So, I don't really know how to do one of these really. I guess we can just wing it. My makeup bag. I'm just kidding, it's not my makeup bag. I just went over to someone's house last night, so ooh, can I do like a story time / get ready with me? Would that be cool? I think I'm gonna try that. Oh well, okay. Let's begin. So, I only have one pair of lashes. Never. Okay. So which story should I tell first? So, alright, I got a good one. So, back in April, I'm looking at my mirror. I cracked it. But back in April, of 2017, I had this really good friend. He used to live like in my my school district. He's a year older than me, like a grade older than me. Then he moved to Columbus, Georgia, and was going to a school there. And then when he was living there, he had like a baseball event or something, because he's like really big into sports. He had a baseball event and he had came to my high school, did like a tryout type thing or something. I don't really know what it was, whatever it was. And it was like pouring down rain. So I went to go and meet him there, and he was gonna like come back with me and we'll go eat, you know, whatever, hang out for a little bit since I don't get to see him all the time, that kind of thing. Well, he ended up in, I went there and it was pouring down rain, so I was sitting in the car for most of the time, for him to like get done doing it, because it wasn't even on the baseball field that they were doing this stuff on. They were doing it on the football field for some reason. So I ended up was sitting in my car waiting for it to get done, like pouring down rain, so I can make it like without getting my hair wet or, you know, anything like that. He ended up, and when it stopped raining, well, it didn't really stop raining. It was constantly raining, but there was like a break for like 3 seconds. So me and my friend made a break for it and ran to the like under the bleachers, so we could like stand there and not have to get like soaking wet and, you know, blah blah blah. So we were standing under there, and then they ended up calling it because of the lightning. Like, it was storming, y'all. Like, I'm not, like, when I say rain, it's not like, you know, like, no, it's like, oh my gosh, it was so bad. I don't even know why they still did it then. Anyways, so they ended up and called it off and like early, cut it short or whatever. And since he was from here, his brother lives in a different school district, like same county. So his dad said that he can come and like hang out with me for a little bit, like we went to go eat. And then his dad went to go and hang out with his brother, like see him for a little bit, because they don't see him all the time. So they went to, so we and him went to Texas Roadhouse at the time, because I used to work there for a while. And so we went there, and then we ate and stuff. I saw a lot of my friends because, you know, like I worked there, so I knew everyone that was there. First up, redness primer, because I feel like I have rosacea on my face. Like, I don't know if you can see, and the pimples, but that's disgusting. Hopefully we can cover that with the makeup. Anyways, so we were just sitting there hanging out or whatever, and my mom would text me. I was like, hey, like, I want to see blah 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 before you have to go back, because me and my mom one time before this went on my spring break to go watch him play baseball down at his house, like his place. So my mom was like, yeah, like, tell him to come by, I want to see him, blah blah blah. So we went back to my house. So we were hanging out for a little bit. Like I said, it's been raining like all day, but it stopped raining for a good minute. Not like one of those like sunny days, but like we're no longer raining, so that was good. I'm currently mixing my so I went to the beach and I'm too tan for this one, and I'm not quite as pale, but like it's a little too orangey for this one, so I just mix them. So that's what I'm doing on my hand. Makeup guru. What the fuck ever savvy. Anyways, and I'm just using this like old ass like probably a drugstore brush, like you know those kits that like Santa bought you when you were young. I think it came like one of those things. Anyways, I forgot what part I was at. God, I'm so freaking ADHD when it comes to stuff like this. See, other people probably like put it on like so much more professional, but like I literally blended my old mascara into my primer. You know what? It's okay. We'll just go over it. So, you know, like 3 streaks. I have so much on my hand. Yikes. Anyway, so then we went out, so it started and stopped to rain for a good bit. So we were like, hey, like let's get right on the golf cart. Like we have nothing better to do. So me, my brother, my friend, and my brother's friend all went onto the golf cart, right? So it was my friend that ended up driving the golf cart, which I didn't really mind. I was just, you know, riding along. And we ended up so we have 3 lakes in my neighborhood. Like, you know, like just do something with all this makeup that I have on my hand. Oh. So then we ended up and went on the golf cart. He was driving. We went up to one of my lakes. We stopped for a little bit because my brother and his friend wanted to fish, and I mean it wasn't raining anymore. It was like nice outside, so we like, I mean it was humid as crap because like hi, it's Georgia and gross, and Savvy Cat has curly hair, so that did not work out for her at all. We took some pictures in front of the lake, and then we rode around for a little bit more. We went down to the lake, and then when you're coming back up, there's a hill going up, and then you can turn right and go back down, like heading back towards my house. So instead of us coming up to the stop sign and like turning right to go back down, we went up to the, like, we didn't come to the stop sign, we went behind the stop sign and like went through this like ditch part to get like to where we were going, which I normally do this, right? I do it a lot. But with my friend driving, he didn't really know like what to do, like how to do it, like don't drive all the way down the hill in the ditch. So he was driving all the way down in the ditch. Well, the ditch, it wasn't like that, it was like that. So we're driving like this and we're leaning this way. So we're start going on 2 wheels on this way. So he jerks it this way, back onto the road. Then when he jerks it back on the road, it like tilts back on there, and then we crash, flip, whatever. And my brother and his friend are off. They're on the back. They hopped off first. Like they were the first ones to be flown off. And then my friend was the first one to be flown off. Or the second one to be flown. Third one maybe? I don't really know. But me, good old Savvy Cat, was stuck in the golf cart just tumbling down the hill. And then I ended up blacking out. And then when I woke up, I was underneath the golf cart with it on top of me, squished in between the concrete and the golf cart. So then I'm like not having a clue in the world what just happened, like trying to come to, don't feel anything, I'm in shock. It was crazy. The force was ridiculous. Like if you wanted to jump off of that thing, you couldn't. I'm putting on Maybelline powder now. Setting powder. Not even setting powder. This is I don't know. loose powder, I guess. Sure. Anyways, so then I end up, and my friend like talks to my brother and his friend first and was like, are you guys okay? And then they're like, yeah. And then he turns and looks at me and says, oh shit. And he comes over there and he throws the golf cart from the concrete to the ditch that we just wrecked out of. And like stuff me up. He was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm fine. And then he was like, okay, sit back down, sit back down. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So I'm like in shock, right? Like I'm like looking out in space, like not knowing what just happened. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. Then he says, call 911, call 911. Call 911. And I was like, no, don't call 911. I was like, call my mom. And I was like, why are we calling my mom? Like, what? He was like, just don't look at your leg. Look at me. Don't look at your leg. Look at me. And I was like, okay, like you tell me not to look at my leg, so I'm gonna look at my leg. I look down at my leg and I'm like, oh my God. Like I start freaking out. I'm like trying to cry, but like the shock that I was in, like I couldn't cry. So then he calls my mom and my mom's like, okay, we're on our way. And so she didn't even know where we were. She was just like driving around the neighborhood to find us. So she found us and drives like hauls ass up the hill. Like it's like, whoa, and she's going like probably 60 in like 30, like not even 30 seconds, like 3 seconds it took her to get from 0 to 60 up that hill. Like it was crazy. So then she's making her way up to the hill, or up to where we are, and it's her and my dad. And they get out and they're like, oh my God, we have to go to the hospital. And I'm like, okay, like it's okay. Like, and then they were trying to carry me to the car and I was like, I can walk, like it's fine. And they're like, you're gonna lose your leg. Your kneecap's gonna fall out. And like, I'll insert a picture or something. And then right now I'm baking my face. So we get to the car and we have to go to my house first, go get insurance cards for the hospital. So we get them, we're heading there. My mom's driving, going 90 miles an hour. We get to the hospital and like I said, everyone's trying to carry me out of the car to the hospital to get into the room. And I was like, I can walk, like I promise you, like I'm fine. So then we get in there, and instead of them like taking my vitals and like my name and stuff, they just take me right back into the room. And I was like, okay, like there's a big old wait, like just, okay, great. So then they started asking like, did you hit your head? Like, and I was like, yes. Like I was in the golf cart flipping, like bad time, fun time, I don't know, do it for state. No, I'm just kidding. So we ended up and went to the room. They put me back in the room and my friend was standing there holding my hand the whole time, like, I'm so sorry, like, are you okay, like blah blah blah. And I was like, yes, like it's fine, like I don't even feel it. And then the doctor came in there like right then and was like, so what happened? And then I was like, he flipped us, it was him, he did it. I'm blaming it all on him because, you know, he flipped us. But no, we're cool. He knows that I don't blame him for any of that because it feels bad. He ended up breaking his ankle too, so he just didn't know it yet. We're not there yet. So we my mom's freaking out. Like she's bawling her eyes out, but that's how my mom is. She's like a worrywart, but she's bawling her eyes out. The nurse had to like make sure my mom's vitals and stuff were okay because like she couldn't breathe. She was having like a panic attack, and I was like, calm down, Mom, like you're crying more than I am and I'm the one hurt right now. So we ended up and we're in the room and they're like, yep, you're gonna need like a whole bunch of stitches, maybe staples. And I'm like, well, figured that one. But they were trying to figure out how they were able to stick it back together because the way it was split, it was a triangle, kind of. It was like this. So they're like, how do we put this back together? Because if they do it like that, like it's like, you know. So what they ended up doing is going like this. So now like my scar looks like that. Not with my fingers, but like this. I'll show you in a minute. So while they're doing the stitches, or while I'm sitting there waiting for them to decide stitches or staples or whatever, my friend, my face is peeling. I just got back from the beach. That's why I'm peeling so bad. my friend is like, ow, like my ankle's starting to hurt, and he looks at it, and like we're all busted up and bleeding, like road rash everywhere. I don't think I have the scars anymore, but like road rash everywhere, like it was bad timing. So he ended up, and he of course called his parents, and his dad and his brother came up there, but he was like, my ankle hurts so bad, and he looked at it and it was literally swollen up to the size of a grapefruit. So the doctor was like, all right, you're in the room beside her. So they put him in the room beside me, and I'm sitting there waiting forever. They're having to clean it out, like get the story, taking x-rays. They had to take x-rays on my leg to make sure I didn't break it on both sides. So my mom's still freaking out, but like she's kind of settled down a little bit to where she can come back in the room. The doctors were in there, like, you know, checking everything. They x-rayed my friend. So he's like, you know, wrapped up. We're all in, or he comes in with crutches. So I'm like, dude, like what even happened to you? Like, how did you get hurt? Like, you were out before me, blah, 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 you know, because everyone, I mean, my brother had like a cut, you know, but like that's just road rash. So that's to be expected. Oh, I brought it out already. So, my brother had road rash, so we just got a Band-Aid for his. And then they started doing, like the stitches, like they were saying. Gently though. I don't think I need to fill in my eyebrows. I think they'll be fine. I don't really care. Oh, doctors were like coming in after my friend came back in and was like, all right, so what we're gonna do is, I forgot to put on concealer. I haven't done my makeup in so long, I forgot what to do. I already said that though. I'm using like a 2 palette. I'm probably gonna use more palettes, just give me a minute. So then the doctor came in and started working on the stitches. Ow. That was, I felt that. The shots to numb it hurt the worst. Like, it was on fire. So I was like screaming, because, you know, ow. And then I could only have 2 people in the room at once when I'm getting that. So my friend and my dad were in there, or they were doing it. So then afterwards, they gave me this big old, like, it's not even a cast, but it's like, you know, like when you sprain an ankle or something and they give you like that little like brace type thing. It was like a huge brace that makes me like not be able to bend my knee, because it was right there on, like, if this was my knee that like bent, you know, it happened like right here. So like I couldn't bend it or straighten it without like popping the stitches. So I had to wear a brace and use crutches for like 3 weeks while the stitches were in there. So then, you know, we get home. My friend is up staying the night because he couldn't go to school the next day, and his dad already had went home because he stayed at the hospital with me. So he ended up staying the night for a couple nights, and we went to, I had to go like to the doctor like every week to get like a checkup on it, because it was such a big like cut that I had to go, or like it was very vulnerable for it to get caught with many infections, which it did. We'll get to that. While being in the cast thing, I literally did not go to school for the last 2 months of school and like failed 2 classes because of this. So like that's how serious it was. The stitches, when they tried to do it, they tried to just bring the corner up to the very tip top and like just do it like that. Well, the very center, the stitches were like, it was spewing out, like my skin was dying, so it was like black, scabbed up, like gross. I know, I'm sorry. I'll put pictures at the end so you don't have to stay and look if you don't want to. But there were like things coming out, like gushing out like pus and shit, gross stuff. And so we were like, okay, yeah, like this bitch is definitely infected, like there's no way it's not. So we went to the hospital, to the emergency room, and was like, bro, like we're cleaning it like every 20 minutes like you said, like why is it still not working? And they were like, oh yeah, like it's infected, like what are you using? And we were like, dude, like you gave us a whole like gurney full of medication and cleaning stuff to use for this. We're using all the stuff y'all gave us, like all the hospital stuff. So then they were like, okay, well, like let's look into it. So they started like looking into it, seeing if it was like something that can get into my bloodstream and kill me type thing. By this time, my friend already went back home and back to school, like he was fine. Ended up, and I had to go to a specialist to see if it was like what was wrong with it, why it's not growing, like why is it not healing. Then my stitches were supposed to come out now, right? Like it's been 3 weeks, like the center of it still was not healed, like you could like, it was still opened, but the ends of it was like this, my skin was growing over the stitches, it was healing already. So we were like, well, what do we do? Like, so we took out the stitches and all of it, and they gave us these little like glue strips that you put over it to like supposedly keep the skin together. Okay, so this was just a big mess. This is all within like a few months, so like I'm like not really skipping around, like telling a whole like year's worth story all into one. So then we ended up and tried to get it figured out, and the specialist that we went to was like far away. Far is what I'm saying. I don't know if you can understand the accent I was talking in. I don't even know what was that. But so we went to the specialist, and they had given me this like thing to take, like these cream and pill type stuff to take. I ended up and having to and this is during summer too, right? Like this is the end of the year of my sophomore year, going into my junior year. This happens. So failed 2 classes sophomore year because I wasn't there for the last 2 months of school because I was thinking I was going to lose my leg. So they ended up and was like, hey, like you can't swim, you can't, you know, do all the fun stuff all the other kids are doing this summer, so you can kiss that shit goodbye. And now I'm using the Sultry palette from Anastasia. It's got a lot of like glitter colors, so I like to use those for my lids. Right now, I'm just using the same brush that I used to cut my crease with to like give me, you know, eyebrow bones. Alright, you can see them. Okay, so now we're gonna do eyeliner real fast before I do the bottom eyeshadow. Later on, it started finally growing again. I had to literally scrub off the dead skin with a wash rag out of the middle. Yes, it did hurt. I'm gonna have to bring this closer to my face because I can't see very well. There we go. Dude, like, pack that shit in there. You want to glow. Put that shit there. Put that shit everywhere, dude. Like, just fucking glow. Alright, now we're gonna do lashes and then blush, and then I'll blend everything together. Or make it look decenter. Or I'll put the glue on the lashes, do blush, then come back and put the lashes on. I'm using the Wispies. That's my kind of lashes. Oh! Literally, I just ripped my damn belly button ring almost off completely. Like, let's just rip off, like, easily. Helps Abby out. So not gonna lie, I have yet to put on my lashes. Like I said, I haven't done my makeup in a hot. But I have yet to put on my lashes with these big old monster nails. So let's hope I can make this work. So I use the Wispies. You don't care, this isn't a god dang makeup tutorial. I keep forgetting that. And then the Duo Blue, if y'all are wondering. I don't know if anyone's gonna ask, but that's what's being used. So then, moral of the story, I have a huge scar on my leg. And then I went to the beach like a few months after that. Keep in mind, this was a long process of healing. I was yet healed, and I ended up and had to not be able to get in the hot tub or like the pool or anything because with my gaping hole in my leg, it's prone to infection. It was bad. So I had to wear like this float type thing. It's crazy. Okay, so there's that. I just got back from the beach and my leg's peeling. My whole shoulders and everything are peeling right now too. I don't want any of you haters coming at me like, that's not a blush brush, that's not a highlighting brush, that's not a... Shut up, I don't care. I'm doing my makeup how I want to. I get inspiration from YouTube. Other people don't know. Like, I don't like their stuff, so I don't look at it. Or I don't follow it. That's all you gotta do. If you get inspired from me to do your makeup like this, kudos. If not, just listen to the freaking story time. Now let's try these. Sorry, someone called me. That was weird. Okay, so that lash is done. Or not done, but placed. But good enough. So now, coming out with mascara. Okay, on a real note though, if you guys haven't tried this, it's the Bang from Benefit. It is so good. I need more because I'm like, you can see how dry I am right now. There's nothing on it. So good. It's like a it smells like Play-Doh. It's weird. I haven't used it in so long. Or I've had it for so long, shall I say. So you see how glossy it is? And you're like, whoa bro, like chill. Use I'll be right back, and I'm gonna go try to figure out how to do this. So, I'll be back with hopefully ready extensions. Alright, I forgot to come back to you guys, but here's the finished product with the extensions in and the makeup done. So thanks for watching.